Ange, thanks for joining us. I'll go straight to it. 4 defeats in a row.
Yeah.
What's the mood like at the moment? How do you as a manager in these sort of situations, as players it's really hard, what do you do? What are you looking at?
Yeah, look, it is hard. Like, as much as you try and kind of focus on, process, that's where, that sort of word comes in, that it becomes really important. Because really it's the only way out. You can kind of overanalyze things, but the reality is that, the human emotions in it are very prevalent in that you don't like losing. It affects confidence, it affects belief, it affects mood, all those kind of things. So as a sort of the manager, you've got to make sure that you don't compound that by adding to the stresses in the wrong way, and ultimately my job is to lead us out of that, not to kind of focus on us being in it at the moment. And but to be fair to the lads, like, they're still very, very sort of positive about the direction we're heading, and they're frustrated with obviously the last 4 games. There've been different performances in there. It's not like it's been a total sort of wipeout for us. There's been some positive things through that, but ultimately the best way to get out of it is to put on a performance, get a result, but then you go back to process. How do you get a performance? Well, you've got to make sure you're training well and you're preparing well. I mean, I think it's important that you don't dismiss it, because I think feeling the pain of what we're going through now is important. That's how you get growth, because there's no point saying, oh, boys, we had a great season, don't worry, we've lost 4 games. And I think you're breeding the wrong kind of sort of culture within the place. Is you've got to feel the loss, you've got to feel the pain of a loss, and 4 losses is not great in any situation. So you need to feel the pain of that, but ultimately it's still about where we're heading and where we've come from. And when you look at our starting point at the start of the year, which, people have kind of not forgotten or dismissed, but because of our start to the season, such a great start. But that start wasn't our starting point. Our starting point was a lot further back than that, and we've made some decent progress, and we're, coming to the end of the season, we've still got 3 games which we have to finish strong and get some results. But come back first day of pre-season, we'll be much further down the road. I said I think it was at the first meeting, I said there will come a point where we hit a real stumbling block this year. We're going to hit some forks in the road, and we're going to fall over, and through that time it'll reveal how much conviction we have in what we're doing. I said it will come. It might come at the start, it might come in the middle, it might come at the end. That'll be a good opportunity for us, not just for players, but for coaches, for the whole club, for all of us to see, well, how do we deal with this, knowing we've gone off in a different direction now? How much belief and conviction have we in this direction now that the time is the toughest? So this will be here again next year, maybe in a different form. Maybe it'll be we're going for a title. The pressure's there then. So the pressure will always be, it's how you deal with it. So times like this is great for me and I'm always alert, but I'm hyper alert now as to how's everyone going through this, I feel this is my purpose. Like if I'm not going to be enjoying or being at my best when the times are toughest, then why am I here? Because ultimately then you put it into autopilot and let it go. Like that's my function. So it was never going to happen in 2 transfer windows. Because what you got to remember is when I came in at the beginning of the year, the team had finished 8th last year, but it wasn't 8th of a team that was on the climb. It was 8th for a team that was kind of going in the other direction, because a lot of their players were kind of getting to the age where it was time for the next challenge, right? And then you've lost your best player from that as well. So you've got an 8th decline, you lose your best player, and by the way, we want you to totally change the way we play too, from this to the other end of the spectrum. So all those kind of factors, I knew was never going to get done in 2 transfer windows. I think we've done really well in the transfer window so far, which meant we're probably further ahead than I thought we would be in terms of squad. Because when I look at sort of Vicario, Van der Ven, Udogi, Pape Sarr, guys who are kind of in their first year of Brennan Johnson at this club, first year real Premier League, all 20, 21, 22, I think, apart from Vicario, but obviously he's still fairly inexperienced for a goalkeeper. I think we've got the formation there of where we're further along, but we need to start filling the gaps further up in terms of our starting 11, but also, like I said, more importantly, for our squad. people weren't certain on Jurgen, they weren't certain on Mikel. They were coming from. So the fact that people are questioning me is no surprise, because we all go through that. I shouldn't be absolved from that, because that's just the nature of the Premier League. Fans want their team to win all the time, mate. And it's just only natural. They're passionate about their football club, and I can't sit here and say to them, listen, you've got to be patient for 5 years till I build this thing, even though, for the most part, that's what it takes for most of these clubs. I think for the most part, they've appreciated what we're trying to do in terms of the football we're trying to play and the way we've gone about things. But they obviously want success. And I think it's the same with the players. I think for the most part, they're in. Are they all in at the moment? No, but I wouldn't expect them to be, because that's up to me to show them the light, that what we're doing will get us to where we want to. And with all these things, I always come back to one basic premise. It's up to me to get people there, whether it's players, supporters, a club. Otherwise, I'm not going to absolve myself of that responsibility. That's on me to get people to that space.
Thank you very much, mate. I wish you all the very best for the rest of the season.
Thank you.